Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday, the 13th of July. So, looking at the euro dollar first, and well, yesterday saw us sell off for quite a part of the day after an early rally. Then we've rallied this morning so far. It's seen somewhat of a recovery. Now, well, what next? Well, we could stay within a tightest range. There is the possibility of the push up to the R1 from where we're sitting at the moment. It's still looking reasonably bullish as we run through this market. From a 4-hour perspective, you can see the range of the move yesterday finally bouncing and pulling back up. Had put in a bit of a bearish pattern overall on the 4-hourly picture there, and it'll be interested to see if it does roll over any more of any break of that sort of 50 MA. And I'd expect quite a bit more of a correction maybe, but at the moment it's looking relatively strong, looking like it wants to push towards yesterday's highs there, already through the daily pivot. If it can continue in this motion, well, certainly be looking at the R1, and well, if it's got any oomph there, momentum, we may see it push up towards yesterday's highs, although the range yesterday was relatively higher than normal. Okay, any sell-off? Well, I wouldn't be looking to sell too early on this market. It's to say at the moment with this move it's done through the Asian session, it's looking relatively bullish, but maybe any sell-off would give us a breakdown and potentially a breakdown of the daily pivot. Maybe too far off in terms of trying to intraday trade that as a sell-off, but I'd have to have a look at it at the time, but on the shorter time frames. But it would need certainly some confirmation, because at the moment it looks, as I say, more bullish than bearish. But if I was to see a breakdown, maybe of the 21 moving averages there, I'd be looking at this main cluster of the lows yesterday at 114, 100, and maybe the yesterday's lows. Looking at cable, the pound dollar, and well, that's pushing up. Looking again, I mean, put a good candle in yesterday in the end there, so a relatively strong candle. Looking like it wants to break above its weekly pivot at the moment. We'll see how it reacts again to this. Last time, obviously, it sold off quite strongly. We'll see this morning how it pushes on through this. Has got an untouched daily pivot below, which any weakness around these highs would possibly set up a short back towards that at some point. As I said, just need to see what happens first thing. It may just want to run up towards the R1 just into those previous highs there, the R1 sort of area, and just see if it reacts to that. But at the moment, it's looking bullish. A break through that R1 would see us probably looking back a bit further towards even to the daily R2, which is not normally a target I'd be looking for, but it may push up that far. It's range-wise at the moment, it's only about a half of what you'd expect. Okay, as I say, any stalling here, rollover, daily pivot, maybe a little bit more, but certainly would be looking at the pullback towards that daily pivot. Dollar yen. See a bit of a correction at the moment. It had a decent push up daily-wise, so at the moment, but we put this pivot swing in yesterday, and it's seeing a bit more of a correction. It may pull back. It's already broken through the 50. I was mentioning this in the room in terms of its lack of significant correction. It's the corrections to now have been relatively small, so a bigger correction may well be on the cards, back maybe towards the 2150, sort of on the dailies there. It's still got an untouched monthly pivot below it, which could be a target. So certainly there's some potential targets to the lower side there. Any break back up to the upside, well, think the way it's moving at the moment, it may be well and truly a change of trend here, and any break of the 8 there may be an opportunity, but I think again you'll get stifled back into the sort of 21 moving average, etc. It's probably best left to the short side at the moment. Aussie dollar. Another bold, strong move here, pushing through yesterday and onwards, and it's just broken last month's highs by looks of things there, pretty much. Solid move at the moment, but I just watch the daily because it's something untouched daily pivot below. Just need to see if we get any reversals. I mean, all these markets at the moment, the dollar appears quite weak relative to them. It'll be interesting to see whether that changes as we go through the morning a little bit. But if we do, well, the Aussie dollar may be an option back, trade option back towards its daily pivot there. Canadian dollar, actually, just need to quick flick on and look at oil price at the moment. Although, it's holding around that 45 mark at the moment. Okay, so Canadian dollar, looking at that bigger picture, well. As expected, there was a 0.25% interest rate increase yesterday. That saw the Canadian dollar strengthen against the US dollar here, pushing down. The comments that were sort of put there, it suggested that the economy had improved to such a point that such stimulus was no longer needed, added the effects of today, the action taken would be seen over the next 18 to 24 months, which to me sounds like they're not suggesting that they're going to be pushing a lot more interest rate increases in a hurry, but we'll see. So, as I say, got the expected. We've got an untouched daily pivot above. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see any rallies push up towards that area. Although at the moment it's still heading south, and there's the potential of it running down at the moment with the momentum to be running down towards yesterday's lows. Maybe even further. It has. I was going to say that's the S3 there, the weekly S3 below. So it's possible it could run into that S3, maybe pushing into the daily S1, which is below that. It's quite an extreme move on that previous low there, so not a great shock if it was to come down, as I say, towards those lows. But wary of any, I'd rather be on the short side of it at the moment, but wary of any opportunities to be trading back towards that daily pivot. Right, so that's pretty much it today. News-wise, you got US PPI, Producer Price Index later, 1:30, which may give some early signs of inflation. Now, that bearing in mind that the markets are looking for inflation in the US, that might be a bit of create a bit of volatility. We got Yellen testifying again today. Well, most of the content will be the same as yesterday, and the same speech, no doubt, will be provided first. This statement, I think, is already, well, as I say, will be the same as yesterday's statement pretty much. So I'm not expecting a lot of volatility from that, although you never know with the markets there at 3. The questions may be a bit more difficult, more probing, so we may get a bit more volatility from that. Beyond that, we've got a couple of other FOMC speakers. We've got Evans and Brainard speaking at 4:30 and 6 o'clock respectively. So perhaps late in the afternoon we could get some volatility from that. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.